Hi, I'm Milesy. Welcome to another Stitchin' Bitch, and I'm here with Mary today.
Hi.
There she is. I tried to get Sophie in, but she'd rather watch Bake Off and go cuddle with her cat, so she'll probably be here next week.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. Apparently we start just a little too late, so if we start like an hour or so early, it's easier for everyone to get in.
Well, my cat is kind of with us. Let's see. Pointing is an issue. Toby is hanging out by my window, which is exceedingly bright. But at least I made it so I don't have a halo anymore.
Yeah. Usually we film the videos with Mary at night, but that was creating its own issues, so...
My brain turns to mush after about 7.
Yeah. But we had fun last weekend, which is part of the reason why my videos have been so screwy this week.
I just like destroying your entire schedule for months on end.
You really do. I mean, I'm still trying to catch up, and then I go down there and it got even more destroyed, but hey, whatever.
But you had a good fucking time.
We had a great time. So, Mary knows some people. We've talked about them a little bit before, but one of them is in a band, and you can describe the band, I think, a little bit better than I can.
So it's a thing in Portland that at Halloween, the local, indie band scene, they do cover bands. And so my friend Paul had this idea for a long time to do a cover band for Depeche Mode, but doing Depeche Mode songs in the style of the Ramones.
And it was so much fun.
So they are called the Ramones.
So yeah, Friday night, we went out to this awesome fucking goth bar called Lovecraft. Mm-hmm. And I'm still annoyed that they didn't serve crack and rum. Which, I mean, come on, its entire theme is a squid. Why aren't you serving Kraken? Instead it was Monarch and disgusting, but
And got kind of drunk.
Got a little drunk.
A little bit.
Little bit. Got drunk on really bad rum. But it was so much fun. I've got a whole bunch of pictures and videos up on my Instagram. And I put a few of them on Tumblr as well. And my ear is still giving me problems, but...
You're as bad as Mike.
Well, I know why that ear is giving me problems, because the left one was fine the day after. Mm-hmm. Like, Friday night when we got home, both my ears were super stuffy and just super angry, as they are when you go to a show like that. But, the reason my right ear has problems is I don't think anybody in my family watches this, so I am not embarrassed to say this. As a kid, I was fucking around and I got a popcorn kernel, like the actual seed part, stuck in my ear, and I was too embarrassed to say anything because I didn't want to get my ass kicked or something like that, so I just never said anything, and it lived in my ear just for however long as it took to just rot and fall out, and so I've always had problems with that ear.
Oh. Have you ever gone to the doctor as an adult and gone, hey, can you make sure there's not popcorn still in my fucking ear?
Oh yeah, I was like 10. This was ages ago. But yeah, like, you know how you do stupid shit as kids? That was my, wow, that was really stupid and I'm paying for it for the rest of my life thing. You know.
I think I finally figured out where the fuck I am on this.
Woo.
I haven't worked on my project in like a month, at least.
I think I probably haven't worked on this one in about the same.
And I was in the middle of like, going across a long row and then randomly going down in some other spot where I could only get to it from this one row.
Oh boy. But yeah, I'm so tired from all this frickin' traveling. And I'm trying to get my videos back on track, but it's not happening.
You get nothing.
Like, the last couple of videos that have gone out have gone out because it was 9 o'clock at night the day before, and I was like, fuck, I still haven't done a video.
Which is why you were kind of okay with not filming last night.
Yeah, no, we were going to try to film last night, but then Mary wasn't feeling super great, and I was like, well, I don't have tomorrow's video either. So that's why today's video is 4 minutes long. I don't know if you've watched today's yet.
I haven't. Sometimes I will, like, binge on YouTube, and then there are times where I'm just like, eh.
Eh.
Even your shit, I'm like, eh.
I've been kind of in an phase with YouTube right now as well. Like,
any particular reason?
I don't know. I just kind of get burnt out with watching stuff.
Mm.
And also because I haven't had time to do any crafting, and crafting is when I do all of my YouTubing, pretty much.
Mm.
Like, I've been setting aside time to watch Philip DeFranco.
Mm-hmm.
And then Markiplier's come back from his hiatus, so I've been watching his videos. And I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's not a gaming channel anymore, apparently. He's a man with a van. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but you know what? It's a lot more entertaining than some of the stuff he's put out in the past. I'm here for it. I'm enjoying it.
So I have a dumb question that I should have asked before we started recording.
Oh.
Should I be wearing headphones?
If it gets nasty, I will tell you to put them on.
Okay.
In general, though, yes, you should be wearing headphones.
Oh. It's so much, like, it's harder to hear you and stuff.
Oh, I know.
Or it's hard. I can hear you, I can't hear myself.
Yeah. You get used to it.
I like it.
There we go. That was super quick. I've already finished with that color. I had like 8 stitches more to go. I don't know why I didn't just finish it last time.
Tired?
Or something. I don't know. I mean, I've been so not able to record. I haven't talked about why I was in Portland in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Which was that my sister recently got married. So, parts of my family went over to Hawaii. I did not go for a variety of reasons. One, it was going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just, yeah, it was a really small little thing on the beach, and they had a lot of fun, so I'm glad. But I actually wound up effectively babysitting for my brother for the week. Because my brother has what amounts to a small zoo in his home.
It's true.
He really does. What was I taking care of? I was taking care of the saltwater tank, which was enormous. 2 cats, 2 turtles, 2 frogs, and a freshwater aquarium. So
Yeah, that was a lot of stuff.
It was. So I spent this entire week just kind of chilling out in my brother's enormous bed, watching the Yogs cast on his enormous TV. And then, yeah, so that's why I was down in Portland. I tried to do some videos while I was down there, but it just...
His house, conducive atmosphere.
It wasn't. His house is a cave. There was really nowhere good to set up. I tried to go to my mom's house to do a live stream at one point, but her house also is lit like a cave, and I forgot half my projects anyway.
And wasn't there, like, a data issue?
No, there wasn't a data issue, although we might want to look at the phone bill. I'm pretty sure I did not go over anything. We would have probably heard about it if I did.
Yeah.
But no, I had to reset all of my devices recently. Just because sometimes Apple is a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens. And my mom didn't tell me that she got a new router with a new password. So I did this huge hour-long live stream on cellular data. So, yeah, I apologize to the other people on my phone account. We've probably lost all that nice big data buffer that we had.
Well, it only rolled over what was remaining from the previous month.
Oh, is that all it did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll have it built back up again in no time. Although now I'm curious and I'm going to...
Yeah, I'm going to look at it. Yeah, how much data did I use? Look at that.
I don't know if I can get it to tell me that specifically, but I'll see how much we have left for... Well, today's the end of the billing cycle, I think.
Yeah, because I usually pay mine on the 25th. And then you guys do yours closer to the 1st.
I pay both of ours, and it just kind of happens whenever I have that money in my account.
Yep. Which is fine, because your guys' share is the vastly smaller share anyway. Fuck.
Did you fuck it up again?
I didn't fuck it up. I don't have a color in my box.
It says we've used 2 gigs out of 5.8.
That was probably me. Well, fuck. Where the hell is 105? Do I want to use 105? I don't think I do want to use 105, actually, because I think 105 is going to be too close to that. I want to use 188. I'm changing my mind. I think. What color should it actually be? Yeah, it should be, like, more purple than pink, and 105 is definitely more pink than purple.
Yes, most of that was you.
Yeah, I figured. We'll use 188 instead. Me fucking live streaming because everyone derped.
At the same time, we still haven't used even half our data for the month, okay. So whatever.
Make sure I'm not actually already using whatever this is, 88. No. Okay. This is what designing your own pattern looks like. A pain in the ass.
Ugh. So my friend has asked me to make something for her brother-in-law for Christmas.
Oh, Jesus.
Which basically involves designing a pattern.
Oh, Jesus.
Which I'm not opposed to.
I was going to say, did you tell her to go stuff herself?
No. Because, you know, I'm kind of pleased that she thought of me.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. And I guess it's, like, from some in-joke that they have as a family. I forget, what does it say? Order matters, fucker. Is the phrase with some sort of, like, old-fashioned sampler or flowery border or something.
Yeah.
Which I now need to go and find out. Figure out. And then send her a mock-up to see if that, you know, is what she had in mind.
Oh, man. So, you know our girl Edith Ann, who did this sampler in 1880 whatever and hated every stitch?
Oh, love her, yes.
So, someone on Facebook the other day was trying to say that Edith Ann is fake. And it's like, you know what? I would not actually have any problem believing that she's fake. Just because so many things are. But her reasoning for why it was fake was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Edith Ann is fake because nobody would put that much effort into something that they hated.
In that day and age, you didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a girl, this is a thing that you do. Period.
Yeah. And, I mean, even George Martin knows that much because Arya Stark's very first plot point is how much she fucking hates needlework and how her stitches are all crap and how she kept getting her knuckles slapped for not giving a fuck.
Well, and, like, even up to, what was it, 1900s? That was the thing?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, I had the first book of, what was it?
I didn't cut this small enough.
Samantha from American Girls, like the Victorian kid or something.
Yeah.
And she had to do it, and it was like, no, Edwardian. It was, I want to say it was like 1910 or something.
That's just on the tail end of the Edwardians.
But in America.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had to do fucking samplers and shit.
And I bet she hated it.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate samplers. I don't like doing them either.
I like them when they're fun. Or, you know, if there's something weird or subversive about it.
Yeah. Like the samplers that I do, I'm trying to do more of them so that I just have a better variety of stuff in my shop. But, like, you know, oh fuck is definitely going to my grandma.
And she will love it.
She will. That's been the general consensus. Grandma will love it.
And we love your grandma.
Yeah. I mean, for context, the last sampler that I gave my grandma said no in 5 different languages. She hung it up in her kitchen. And a couple of years ago, this is the woman we taught how to play Cards Against Humanity at Christmas, and she almost won. That's my grandma. Everyone loves my grandma.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see how well this actually goes. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like this white streak in here, but we'll see.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I can't see what the fuck you're doing.
I can't either.
You're the one doing it and you can't see?
Nope, because it's way up on the top, and I don't feel like dicking with my stand. You know how it goes.
Actually, I don't, because I've never used a stand.
Well, this one sucks.
So I've heard.
Oh, I was going to talk about that.
I was going to say, plot point.
Plot point. So, oh my god, phone, knock it off. I don't think this color is going to work now that I actually get it on there. So, my last Friday's video was about my stand, because again, it was 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't have a video, so I'm like, let's put the camera on my stand and talk about how much garbage it is. And in the very last Stitchin' Bitch, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, there is a part where Sophie was just talking about something. I don't know what happened, because my stand broke. Just randomly in the middle of whatever the hell Sophie was talking about, so that's a thing that pretty regularly happens, and that's how much I hate this stand, basically. That's not right. There's... what?
You're not right.
I don't know, I broke something. So, you know, most people seem to be pretty on board with that video. People were either going, you know, oh my god, thank you for not letting me buy this piece of garbage because it was on my wish list, which I appreciated those ones. Those, I think, were my favorite comments that I got. And I got a fair amount of people, you know, who agreed that, yeah, they have this stand also, and it is garbage. Which it totally is. But I got a few people as well, my phone just fell, who were so angry, oh, that's not 122, it's 121, that I didn't like this stand. Like, they were
makes
actually
no sense.
angry about it, and it's like, what? No, I mean, it's cool that you like it.
Yeah.
I have not found a single thing I like about the stand, aside from the fact that it was easy to put a camera on. It looks like hell, with the amount of zip ties that are holding a curtain rod to my stand, but that's the only thing it has going for it with me, is that I was able to do that. And it's like,
That's
why?
so weird. How dare you have an opinion different from mine?
I guess. But, like, yeah, if you have this stand and you like it, awesome, I'm glad you do. I fucking hate it. And I'm looking at a couple others.
And when you have the money, you'll get a new fucking stand.
Yeah. And I'm looking at a couple of others, but it's like, the ones that I'm looking at don't really work, because I would have to put so much effort into getting a camera on them. So it's like, I might be stuck with this piece of garbage for the rest of my life.
Oh, God. I assume at some point you'd have to get a new one, because it will have died to the point of being unusable.
God. Yeah, no. It doesn't like having rocks taped to it. It really doesn't. And that causes a bunch of problems.
I wouldn't like having rocks taped to me either.
Yeah, right? Okay.
I mean, I kind of don't blame it on that part.
Yeah, but at the same time, be better and you wouldn't have rocks taped to you.
Do your fucking job.
Oh my god, I was messing around with my fish tank. I tore out the lily. Well, it had taken over my tank. The fish couldn't see, they couldn't eat, and it was clogging up the filter, so the lily had to go.
Okay.
And I don't know what I've done. Now, something's, like, wrong with one of the pumps that are in there, because it's just making the sound of a sad puppy constantly.
Stop fucking shit up.
Oh, Jesus, you say this as I seriously fucked something up.
I'm the psychic.
My God, what the hell happened here?
See, now I'm just gonna, like, cross-stitch you a thing to put on your wall that says stop fucking shit up.
Yeah, basically. I don't know how I've done this. Okay, there we go. Now let's try to actually separate this from the mess.
By the way, the tangled bit of yarn worked very well, thank you.
Good. She texted me at like 11 o'clock at night before I was going down there last weekend, asking me for a tangled bit of yarn, and I'm like, what?
Sometimes witches need weird ingredients for shit.
Well, I love that your reasoning was, I know you have some, and I'm like, what? No, I don't.
I remember several large cartons of really fucking tangled yarn.
Well, apparently you missed that vlog where I showed off my awesome fucking yarn closet now.
Apparently so. But you being you, I figured you still had something tangled somewhere.
No, I took everything. I spent 2 weeks balling it all up and putting it in the closet. That's how much yarn I had. Because, yeah.
Well, you still found me something.
Well, I cut it off of a ball and then just tangled it up and shoved it into my bag.
Well, it still worked.
Okay.
Its purpose quite well.
Because it needed to be tangled, but, like, not irreparably so, or something.
Yeah, like, I needed to be able to untangle it without cutting anything. So no, like, pulled tight knots, but it needed to be some amount of actual tangled and not just, like,
A clump.
here's a piece of yarn kind of dribbled in on itself on the ground.
Oh, boy.
Because reasons.
Because reasons. Oh my god. So Sophie asked me this morning if I'm going to be doing Nano. My answer was, who fucking has time for that?
Maybe if I didn't have a small business.
And a YouTube channel and craft vending coming up.
Yeah?
Oh my god. Yeah. There we go.
It's in a little over a month.
Yeah. Although I figured out how I'm going to set up my table.
Okay, that's good.
I just need to go down to Joann to get some funky fabric, because that's kind of my deal. I've got a bunch of really funky fabric in the background of all of my stuff, so my table should have some funky fabric.
Cool.
And if I can find the same kind, that would be amazing. I doubt that I can, but if I can find this awful stripe, which I don't know if you guys can see it, this thing, which is in the back of all of my listing photos, and it shows up in some of my videos.
I hate that fabric.
Isn't it awful? I love it. If I can find like 2 or 3 yards of that, it will be perfect, because basically what I'm going to do is I've got like thousands and thousands of priority boxes from the post office that I can just set up, staple some fabric to, and then when it's done, fold them back down, and they can still go out to be used as something, I guess. There we go. Oh my goodness, so I had a morning today.
Many people do.
Mine was like a morning, though. You know, those kind.
I was going to say, I heard you had some fun earlier.
Oh my god. So,
Everything hates you?
What's that?
Everything hates you?
Yeah. So today's my P.O. Box day, which is basically where I take orders down to my P.O. Box to go get shipped out. And I have my box through UPS, not through the actual post office, just because the UPS store is just right around the corner, and that's a lot easier. And I've also decided that they are going to now be my printing service, since that time Office Depot hilariously screwed me over.
Right.
And I've taken stuff in there a few times, and they're really cool about just, you know, walk-in print jobs, because they're not known for printing, so they're not super busy, and it takes like 10 minutes or something. But I figured I can save some time, and just put everything that I need together in one big PDF, and send it in, and by the time I go to pick up my stuff, it will be printed. So I'm trying to do this, and I can't really get it to cooperate with me very well to begin with. I'm having a lot of issues with it, and then I go to finally get it done and put it in my cart, and it won't add it to my cart.
Weird.
Like, it's just sitting there, and it's not giving me an error message, just nothing is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, so I get to have a nice chat with tech support, who basically tells me that their site doesn't work with Firefox. So I try it in Chrome, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, it works with Chrome, and for some reason, my print job is $3 less.
Why wouldn't their site work with Firefox?
I don't know, but I really frickin' hate Chrome.
Because that's a really big user base.
Yeah.
I also hate Chrome.
So, you know, but that's cool. I mean, if I need to use Chrome... Anyway, where was I? UPS.
You walked into UPS.
Yes. Well, I didn't actually go to UPS, because it wasn't time to go to a UPS yet. I usually do that after Ryan goes to work.
Okay.
So, that was about the time I started talking to you about your awesome Dremel. So, you know, I gave up on the UPS thing, and we were talking back and forth, and Mary, we need to look into it, but Mary might be making me some awesome stuff for the shop as well. But she needs to do some experimenting, and we're looking into it, but it's the sort of thing that, you know, I want to have some document envelopes on hand so that I can send her, patterns.
Oh, that was about me.
That was about you.
I was reading the blog you wrote about it, and I was like, oh, I wonder who you're talking about.
Talking about you. Yeah, so I didn't want to put it on the blog, though, just because... But yeah, so, Mary might be making me something cool. So we were talking about that, and she just, you know, wants to do some experimenting, and I don't have document envelopes anyway, which is something that I should have, because, you know, sometimes people might just want to buy some patterns or something, and document envelopes would be nice, and my shipping envelopes aren't very nice for just patterns. So, that was something that I was, you know, going on to stamps.com for, because I have stamps.com, and I've used them for pretty much since I started my shop, so quite a long time at this point. And I go on there, and you can get free shipping supplies through stamps.com. Other stuff isn't free, but anything that comes from the postal service is free. So, free envelopes, free boxes, a few free other nifty things, certain kinds of labels, things like that. You can get them for free. So I go on there like I've done a million times. This entire back part of my closet is just full of UPS boxes that I rarely use, but they are there for if I need them. And so I'm going, and I get to the listing for the document envelopes that I need, and they are listed in British pounds. It still says 0, but it's not dollars, it's pounds. And, yeah, so I'm like, well, I mean, it's 0, so it doesn't matter anyway, right? So I go in, and I decide that I want, like, 50 of these things, and I put in my order for 50 of these things, and it says that it can't complete my order because the currency is wrong. I can't remember exactly what the error message was. So I go into my account, thinking, well, obviously I've changed something somehow. Maybe it, you know, thinks my address is weird. And I see that I'm being billed £15.99 each month. And I'm like, no. So I call tech support. And when I finally get the guy on the line, I pretty much said, are you ready for the weirdest call you've had all week? And I walked him through everything that I was seeing, and he was pretty confused as well. He didn't really seem to know what was going on. And he did some digging. Apparently Stamps.com is severely broken right now, and so many accounts think that they're in England, which is funny because Stamps.com is strictly the United States Postal Service.
I was gonna say, is it even used?
Yeah, I even asked him, you guys don't exist over there, do you? And he goes, no.
That's bizarre.
So, in order to buy these envelopes, what I had to do was go in again through Chrome, because he suggested using a different browser just in case, and then use this kind of backdoor no sign-in link to get to the store, because usually you have to get to your account before you can get to the store. So I managed to get to the store without signing in, just to order a free package that doesn't cost me any money.
Lol.
Yeah. So, at that point, I was like, I'm not even going to the P.O. box today because I'm going to get hit by a truck. So, Ryan took it down for me.
You had a morning.
I had a morning. I had an absolute morning. How was your morning? Oh, I didn't realize we had Tina on the show.
Shut up. You know I channel Tina often. Didn't we have that conversation the other night?
You sound just like my refrigerator.
That's why I named it Tina. I love that it still has the unicorn and shit on it.
Yeah, I don't want to erase it. It's cute.
I drew in cursive on their refrigerator, Tina, and I drew a little unicorn silhouette because reasons.
Well, because my refrigerator sounds like Tina Belcher. Just constantly. It's annoying.
I went to bed at like 4 a.m. and when I was going to bed, or no, I think I went to bed at 3. And when I was going to bed, my roommate was like, "Oh, is it almost 3?" And it's like, "Yeah, you just can't tell because you didn't get up till like 6 p.m.
Well, there you go. If you start doing these things for me, you can, tell your roommate to get off your case because now you've got commission work coming in.
Yeah, that won't. I wish.
You wish.
I've been kind of attempting to clean my room, which is a sty, and looks it right now.
So is mine. It's getting better, though.
Well, there's theoretically someone maybe who's gonna come and visit and see my room.
Oh!
So...
Yeah, get on that.
It would be nice if I had it less disgusting when that happens.
Yeah, get on that. I don't think this is pink enough. This is too blue. God damn it.
Well, it's just like, it's probably better if I start that massive undertaking now rather than like 2 days before someone's gonna show up.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, at this point, layer this because this is not turning out as pink as I needed it to. Still very blue.
I almost thought you were gonna say that you were just gonna, like, set dynamite afire in your house to clean.
No. I mean, I would like to do that as well. I don't get any help around the house.
Well, it still looks like we moved in and it's been a year and a half.
Yeah. Oh, and I did tell you that Ryan works on Thanksgiving, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so it doesn't seem like we're going to be making it down there for Thanksgiving because he works.
Okay. Alright. That is understandable.
Yeah.
I still want some fucking lefse, though.
Okay. Come get some.
Okay. Assuming I don't have some sort of job.
Okay.
By that.
How's Joanne's going?
Haven't heard anything back yet. I really don't want to do the post office again. Or anything that would be like the post office, which would also fix an UPS. So, I don't know.
Well, keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh, hey, I have anxiety. Oh, hey, job hunting really pokes the anxiety and also the depression.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I gave up and started my own business.
And just, it's like I do the Portland hustle. I currently have various ways of making just enough money to pay for most of my my personal bills. But there's, nothing extra. And just, I have trouble job hunting because of mental health. but also job hunting exacerbates mental health issues.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's nothing quite like filling out that questionnaire that has fuck all to do with the job 8 times.
Yeah, and it's like, that's why I had a shitty position at the post office last year, because I filled out this thing, this, test you had to do to get one of the better positions, and I failed it, because I think, talking to some of the other people, I think I failed it because I was too, like, empathetic to coworkers.
Well, according to my brother,
Uh-huh.
This is Terry, the one who was a pretty high up position at Fred Meyer before he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer as neutrally as possible.
Yeah, and I didn't, because the last place I worked was a community center.
Yeah.
Where there was a big priority on, like,
empathy.
Good community out of, like, the people who work together. So it's like, no, if someone has a problem, like, they can talk to me about it and I'll try and help them with it. Oh, wait.
Yeah, they want you to just be a robot. That's what my brother Terry says.
Yeah, and I'm not a fucking robot.
Which is why he got fired, because he had a kid, and whoops, you're not a robot. He had to start spending time with the kid, and that put strains on his schedule, and now he doesn't work for Fred Meyer, but he works for FedEx now, I think.
Mm.
I think he still works there, I don't know. He was talking shit about them the other day, though.
Well, and it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I know where I have issues.
Yeah.
And I also don't sell myself well, partially because I'm aware of my issues, and so I'm like, yeah, here's some problems with me. Which is not, the greatest thing to do when you're trying to get a fucking job. At the same time, like, I want to work for someone who's accommodating.
That doesn't exist anymore.
I know. But it's like, I feel like I would have better luck with that with smaller businesses.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, in terms of Joann's, I like the store I applied for last better because it was a lot smaller, and I feel like I could not be as much of a robot there.
Yeah. Well, and then it will be fun because I can have Michael's bullshit from Lee and Joanne bullshit from you.
I love Lee.
Lee's amazing.
So much.
Lee is this person we both mutually follow on Tumblr.
Neither of us are actually friends with them.
No. But Lee works at Michael's, and Lee fucking hates it. And that seems to be the majority of their blog, is how much they hate Michael's.
Yeah, and not so much of the great slime famine anymore, but God, that was great.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the posts on Michael's, or on Tumblr about slime, it probably came from Lee.
Yeah, the shit you make with, like, the Elmer's glue and glitter and crap, and when it was being a super huge thing, like, Michael's and every other place kept running out of it. So Lee would post about all these horrible interactions with customers going, why can't I make slime? And also, like, the classes that Michael's would teach on making slime, and what a hellhole it was to be teaching those classes.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, this is not the right color at all. I'm gonna have to add some pink later. Whoops. I don't know what shade of pink to add to it, though.
Oh, you can help me brainstorm, because this will probably be a funny thing to record. I kind of want to do a housewarming cross-stitch thing for the Husbears, because they just bought a house.
Oh, that's right, they did.
And you kind of know Dan.
Yeah, vaguely.
I'm not sure what... I mean, we share that type of humor. And I'm not sure what to do for them.
You could do the oh fuck pattern.
I could.
He'd probably enjoy that.
It's like if I wasn't doing something for both of them, I'd do something that's like about dyslexia, because Dan is and often makes jokes about it.
Well, the reason I made that sampler in the first place was because I wanted a welcome mat that said something like that, but Ryan kept saying, no, we have neighbors, and I'm like, well, you're boring.
At the same time, you're at the very end of the row in your apartment.
Yeah, nobody comes up here unless they mean to be here.
Yeah. Well, we know who's a party pooper.
Yeah, totally. Although he does have my birthday off this year, and I told him to do everything in his power to keep it off, up to and including playing the My Wife Will Murder Me card.
Nice.
Yeah, and it just happened that way. He didn't request it off. It just happened that he has it.
Nice.
So my poor husband, before he worked at this place, he worked, he provided respite care, which is basically where you spend a few hours each day with a family because, you know, someone has to go shopping or go to church or, god damn it, they just need to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So his job was to stay there with the family member that needed help.
Yeah, while the caregiver goes and takes
has a life.
time off.
Yeah. And he was hired at that place for full time.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting maybe 15, 20 hours a week at this place.
Ugh, I didn't realize it had gotten quite that low.
Oh, it was awful. That's when we went on food stamps for the first time ever. And when I was doing the on the phone interview, I even told the woman, no, my husband's making, 15 hours a week. He's actually at a job interview right now, but we're overdrawn and have nothing in the kitchen. We probably won't even need this next month. So she approved us for 6 months, and then we got the thing to reapply after that, and I'm like, we don't need it now. Let someone else have those resources.
Yeah.
So now he's working at this place. It's a full-time care facility, and his most recent paycheck, and this is pretty standard for all of his paychecks lately, had 111 hours on it, 25 of which were overtime.
There's a reason he gets Employee of the Month, like, every fucking month.
And so now it's pretty much the exact opposite problem, which you'd think, oh, well, that's a nice problem to have, except for the part where he has literally no time off to do anything. The rear tire on the car is just slowly going flat. He doesn't have time to change it.
That's not good.
No.
Apparently I kicked my cat out of the room.
Sure.
Oh, come on.
The cat that disappears randomly.
I will show him to everybody.
Okay.
This is Toby. He's my baby. He's a butthead, but I love him.
We all love Toby.
This is why all the food I make has cat hair in it somewhere.
Shit. I don't know if you guys can see my phone lighting up underneath this, but my lap is the only good place for it. Because instead of setting it up on my shirt like I normally do, I set it up as a boom mic instead. Just because it seemed like that was the way to get better sound. Although, we'll see.
Fuck you, little knot.
Did you get a knot in it?
I got a stupid knot.
Oh, no.
It tightened itself up, and I can't undo it.
Oh, no. I hate that.
I guess I will just pull it through all the things.
I hate that.
Oh, there's a kitty on the back of my chair.
Oh, kitty. Frickin' hate iOS 11. It's the worst.
So I've heard. Several times.
Although, it did... It's so bad. Although, it does have one point in its favor.
Mm-hmm.
That 20-minute dead zone in between Ridgefield and Woodland disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
I did not lose service Saturday night coming home, which was a first. Yeah.
Ugh. I'm checking something real quick. Away from the desk.
Oh god, it was so funny. I had the guy across the aisle from me so confused. Because I was taking the train home Saturday night, and it was just a clusterfuck getting home from start to finish, basically. And Ryan, working one of his surprise double shifts, he put his name down in the cafeteria where he works to, hey, feed me because there's nothing open at 10 o'clock at night in this stupid tiny town. Mm-hmm. And they didn't feed him. Ugh. So, luckily, we had all those free Domino's pizzas banked. So he texted me and said, could you order me a free pizza? And so I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there on the train ordering Domino's on my iPad, and the guy could see it. And he was like giving me this look. And I put the order through, and, I let him know, there you go. It's being made. You should have it in about 15, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then that was that. And then we kind of just came to a weird stop at one point, like outside Ridgefield. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it's like, I'm hungry. This sucks. I'm going to eat a snack. And the only snack that I had in my bag was the Domino's from the night before. So, suddenly, after ordering Domino's from my iPad when we were just leaving the station, I now had Domino's on the tray next to me.
Like a Domino's slut here.
Well, the guy was, like, looking at me because he watched me order it, and now I had some.
Magically appearing Domino's.
Yeah. He was so confused, and I was just like, okay, cool. That
one's back out.
Yeah.
You're a butt. Well, I'm glad it resolved itself, but I was going to have you troubleshoot the iPad, because I haven't used it in forever, and I plugged it in, and it wasn't giving any signs of life for a while.
It does that. When I first got it from the person I got it from, it took an hour for it to charge. And she was really worried, too.
Well, I just went and poked it, and now it's lighting up, and it's like, I have 10% charge. It's like, okay, it's only been a couple of hours.
Yeah, no, it took a good hour for it to recognize that it was charging.
Mm-hmm. So, never mind. Not worried anymore.
Cool. It is a first-generation iPad.
Yeah. And it's been dead for a bit.
A bit.
Undefined amount of time.
Everyone gets my old cast-off iPads.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, if it still does what you need it to do, it still does what you need it to do.
I wanted it as a glorified Kindle, and it does that.
Yeah. It's about all it does these days, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it probably doesn't even know how to YouTube anymore.
I feel like YouTube is one of the apps that it just kind of randomly shuts down.
Yeah.
Like Tumblr and the internet.
Because I remember when I had it, trying to watch YouTube on it, and it was just like, nah, mate.
I mean, the books feature is about the only thing that doesn't randomly shut down, which is okay, because that's... that was kind of the point.
Well, I'm glad it still works.
Yeah. I think I have a ton of fanfic on there, too.
I have so far fallen out of fanfic, it's almost kind of sad. Like, I don't write it anymore, I don't read it anymore.
You wrote anything was?
Outside of the game that I play, probably more than a year.
Wow.
Yeah. It just stopped being fun.
Yeah. It does that.
But, the game, now that, it's really starting to get into a good rhythm with what I'm doing, it's kind of scratching the same itch, so... Mm-hmm. And there's a Halloween plot that I have got approved. It took forever to get approved, but I got it approved. And
if we record next week, we'll have to wear costumes.
I totally have my Halloween costume too. We should. I'll tell Sophie.
Oh, it'll be, and this goes up the day after Halloween.
It does.
Is that too late to wear a costume?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll tell Sophie to wear a costume.
Nice.
Because she wanted to do it with us.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Ha. Oh, no, wait. We'll record the day before Halloween.
Yes. Record the day before, it goes up the day after.
Yes.
Oh well.
Close enough.
But my plot, would you like to know what my plot is?
Sure.
Evil porcelain dolls that want to kill you.
Oh, you were telling me about that.
Yes, I actually got it approved, and it's happening on Halloween.
I bet there's a subsection of players who are like, fuck them, and there's horrible plots.
Well, the reason why I have it set up the way that I do is because someone else ran a similar, although not completely evil plot. They did an Elf on the Shelf plot, which was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And boy, did my character ever take against it. But, apparently that one did really kind of skeeve some people out. So yeah, instead of just having horrible evil porcelain dolls everywhere, I'm just relegating it to one post. So it's totally opt-in. Mm-hmm. You don't have to deal with creepy dolls if you don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, yeah, the elves kind of took over, and it was creepy and weird.
Well, and I mean, they're Elf on a Shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the time my character went to jail for shooting them. And so this time, when the creepy dolls come in, he's gonna make a sandwich and then just go sit down and pretend that he doesn't see it, because god damn it, I told you so.
Nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. And then, coming up on the 4th, they're going to, someone else is running a... I'm not quite sure how to explain, but she's running a plot where the characters' ages are going to change. Like, it's not necessarily de-aging, because the kids can get aged up. But, like, yeah, all of a sudden you'll show up in the bar and, like, you're suddenly 12. Or the 12-year-old is suddenly 30.
Huh.
Yeah, so that one's going to be fun. And I'm kind of wondering how I'm going to handle it with my character, who has some issues with loss of control in the first place. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I really want to participate, but also someone might die. And then, like, Sophie doesn't really want to use her camera, but I'm going to try to talk her into it if we're doing costumes. Mm-hmm. Because, come on, Sophie.
Well, it doesn't matter if she, like, has to send you, like, a photo that you can post at the beginning or end or something.
Yeah. I do have a costume, and I'm totally gonna wear it.
I'll probably just wear my normal costume.
The same one you wear every year?
Yes.
Basically, your going out wear?
Once again, I don't think I'm doing anything this year.
Yeah, it's a shame you're stuck down there doing what I'm going to be doing up here anyway.
Yeah. My house is actually going to try and hand out candy for trick-or-treaters. We didn't bother with it last year, but we thought we would this year to be, like, neighborly, but we don't actually know if there's any kids.
Yeah, which is exactly what I'm trying, and to really up the ante, I bought a case of Snickers bars.
I love that you're being like, that house.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I get 3 kids that show up,
then you get all the rest.
I get all the rest. And, I mean, it's 48 bars, and I spent $20 on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so...
That's a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's some money, but it's not as expensive as you'd think it would be.
And if no one comes by, you're set on Snickers bars for, like...
Yes. Forever.
Yeah. Like, a year?
Well, we still have the candy from last year, because it was so bad.
But that's bad candy. If it's good candy, it's a lot quicker.
Yeah. But, yeah, every now and then I will find stashes of last year's candy still, and it's like, why?
Yeah, I need to empty my old stash of Halloween candy, because I forget it's there, and then I don't eat it, and it's, like, Sixlets and some other stuff that's, like, 3 years old now. Well, like, if you're desperate for sugar, it's still sugar, but...
Yeah. Well, the bag that we got last year was one of those where it looks a lot better than it really is. And And it was Whoppers, Milk Duds, and 3 different flavors of licorice.
I'd eat the Whoppers.
Yeah, but the problem was that the licorice flavors leached into everything. So everything tasted of fake strawberry.
No.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Ugh. And does fake strawberry kill you?
No, because fake strawberry comes from the secretion of a beaver's anal gland.
Woo! Same with blue raspberry.
Yep. So, surprisingly, I have no problems with fake strawberry. Anal gland secretions.
You're gonna have to bleep me again.
I might, just for the hell of it. Well, it's gonna get some bars and tones anyway, since the whole goddamn thing crashed again.
I mean, I could say something bleep-worthy.
Oh my god, I know you can, too.
Just talk about going pirating.
I still love how people were, like, expecting me to say what was bleeped out, and I'm like, well, that's the reason it was bleeped out. It was pretty bad.
Which reminds me.
Oh my god, now what?
Did I tell you what Hand Puppet was wearing at one point at Tortuga?
Probably.
So apparently Pixie told him to to bring a favorite outfit.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't know this at the time, but his favorite outfit consisted of like Chewbacca Mom?
Yeah.
The mask with the moving mouth.
Yeah.
So he has a werewolf mask like that. So his outfit consisted of the werewolf mask.
Okay.
And so that's how he was wandering around.
Okay.
And then I don't remember how it came to it, but Pixie said, "Come here, boy," and he took off fucking running. And somehow managed to.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to bleep that.
And so it was like fucking Benny Hill, like him running and Pixie running out.
Oh my god. And to think we have no good stories from going to a goth bar in the middle of Portland to see a weird cover band. It was just we went to a goth bar in Portland to see a weird cover band.
Yep.
Aside from the band, nothing interesting really happened.
But yes, that's who I'm attempting to woo.
Oh boy. Married.
Hi.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm glad I'm not dealing with the dating game anymore.
Yeah, it kind of blows.
Oh, kind of in a sideways manner, tangentially related, I should update you guys on the library creep.
Oh, right.
So, the last time I updated you guys, I think, was when I went to Safeway and had to get rescued. But to catch everybody up, if you haven't heard that story, back in, like, July, Mary was up to just spend some time, and my apartment has no air conditioning.
Oh yeah, this was when it was redonkulously hot.
Yeah, when it was so hot, our sushi took 2 hours to get here because it's the only cold food in town that delivers, so they were swamped. Basically, was how hot it was. And up here, just because the weather fluctuates so wildly and it makes people physically ill, we have, pretty much all public buildings and even some private establishments will become cooling or warming centers depending on the time of year. Mm-hmm. Because people die. People will just fall over and die. It gets so hot or so cold.
Yeah.
So we decided, you know what, let's order some sushi and then go to the library. And then it took 2 hours for our fucking sushi to get here. Mm-hmm. So we go down to the library and we both take a project. And this is when I had just started the horses on 22 count. So... yeah, this is how much I've got since then. I don't know why this one's taking me so long to do.
It's fucking huge.
It is huge. Well, it's not even huge, it's just tedious.
Well, and you also keep sucking up.
I do. And so we're both sitting there. She's working on Hawkeye. I'm working on this.
Not Hawkeye. Hawk Guy.
Oh, whatever. So, we're just kind of chilling, doing our thing, and this guy rocks up, just talking about cross-stitch. And I mentioned that, I want to kind of get a craft group started at the library and all this other stuff like that. And there's some information that's shared and this, that, and the other. And he goes on his merry way, and that's that. And then, like, a week later, he texted me to meet up about talking about the group, or so that we could talk about the group that I had mentioned. And so I'm like, well, okay. I mean, right now, it's, I don't meet people very often, like, go out to specifically meet new people, so I don't really know what is weird and what's not.
Social isolation, what's that?
Yeah, right? So, I don't know what's weird and what's not, but I know that just in general, I don't like people. Which,
Imagine you.
I really am. So, I, tell my husband what's going on, but, oh no, he has to go in at noon that day instead of 2 o'clock. So I was like, well, fuck. But luckily we have a friend who lives just down the way, so I texted him and asked,
We've talked about Mike before.
Yeah, we've talked about Mike before, and asked if he could be my emergency getaway driver, since I'm meeting someone new and not terribly comfortable with it, but, I don't want to just be completely judgmental about every new person I meet, so I'm going to go meet him. And he says, yeah, sure, I'm just coming home from Seattle at that time anyway, so I can meet you at the library. So, cool. All that fun stuff. And this was the day after I had got my snails. So I was running late to go meet this guy because I wanted to check on my snails to make sure that they were adjusting well to my tank, and I couldn't find them. Because I am such an unrelatable person, I will be late to a meeting because of my pet snails. That's how unrelatable and socially isolated I am. So I'm worried about being late because of my frickin' snails. But I get there and he's not there yet. And Mike's not there yet. And I'm like, And Mike's not texting me. And I'm like,
It's because Mike's busy driving.
And it's because Mike was busy getting pulled over, apparently.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, he was getting pulled over. So that's why he was 40 minutes late.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
Some professional driver you are.
But anyway, as I'm waiting for Mike, I get a text from the other guy saying that he's doing some shopping for his sister. Would I mind if instead of meeting at the library, we went out for lunch instead? And I'm like, no. That's weird. No. So,
I don't know you and barely remember you. That's...
Yeah, so... Yeah. I said it a little bit more tactfully than that, though. Yeah. I said that, what I told him was that I already had lunch plans, sorry. Because I did. I told Mike that, he would be my getaway driver, and either way, we'd go out for lunch afterwards. So, it was not a lie, I had lunch plans.
Yes.
And I didn't get an okay, or I will be there shortly, I got nothing. So I immediately texted Mike and said, as soon as you get here, we're going, because this just got weird. Because you don't ask to change the meetup spot when you're already running late.
Yeah.
That's creepy. So, he finally gets there, we go out for lunch, and I never hear from this guy. He never calls, or he never texts to say, hey, I got there, you'd already left, what happened, or anything like that. I expected at least, some kind of, well, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Didn't get that. And then he kind of just disappeared for a while, and I'm like, okay, well, that was that. And then, a couple months later, he just, starts randomly texting me. And, I'm like, just, no.
I can't remember if I heard about that.
Well, probably not, because I blocked him as soon as he started, because, fuck you. Basically, you fucking weirdo, go away.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of that. And then, he texted me from another number on Thursday night.
Ew.
Yeah. Saying that, hey, I sent you this thing for this app, go to this link so we can video chat. And I'm like, no.
Some people are really bad at boundaries, and it seems like a lot of the time it's guys.
Yeah. So, Like, whatever, I block that number as well. Don't even give him the satisfaction of, no.
Mm-hmm.
And I go down to Portland to go see the show. And we have a great old time, and everything's cool, and then Saturday morning, Ryan starts texting me.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he asks, you know, did we all make it home okay? You guys are all safe? And I'm like, yeah. You know, we were texting a little bit last night. You know, we got home, we ate Domino's, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, okay, you didn't meet any weird creeps there at the bar or anything? And I'm like, no. What? Then he goes, oh, well, because some weirdo friended me on Snapchat and started talking about cross-stitch. And I'm like, what? Like, and he's like, yeah, you don't know who that is, do you? I'm like, well, it's very possibly that creep I met at the library. And I couldn't really remember his name at that point, because I'd been avoiding him for so long, so I asked Ryan, did you get a name? And he said, yeah, Jack. And I'm like, yeah, that does actually sound really familiar now that I hear the name.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, okay, well, he disappeared as soon as I said my wife, and I'm like, yeah, that was him. So, crap. Not it again.
Stop fucking shit up.
I'm using extra long strands because I have to fold it over a bunch of times.
Yeah, I'm accidentally using a really long strand too, and it's like, good job, self. That was not intelligent of you.
No, it's really not, but it's easier to fold it over 4 times when you're doing the variegated stuff than trying to match up a bunch of different strands.
Yeah.
My mouth is full talk.
Say that again?
I said my mouth is full talk.
Ah.
There we go.
Don't put me on the spot. Nothing's gonna happen. Introvert with social anxiety. Are we getting towards the end of this?
Let me check.
It's an hour and a half on mine. Or wait. Hour 12.
Hour 12. It's about what it is on mine. But, let me at least get this going, and then we can sign off, because this is a mess.
I was just curious.
Yeah. Oh, it's still a mess.
You're a mess.
I really am. Help.
But Ryan has a better understanding of why you were avoiding the dude.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I missed that part, too, about how I ran into him at Safeway that day, and that's when he started texting me again. I missed that part. Because, in between just completely disappearing at the library and Snapchat, I ran into him at Safeway and went and hid the floral counter, and that was when he started texting me again. And I was scared because it's like, I don't want him to know where I live, because I live really close to Safeway.
Mm-hmm. But I love that Ryan, I don't know, didn't seem to take it as serious until the guy contacted him.
Yeah. And he swears up and down that I didn't tell him why I needed him to come rescue me from Safeway.
I feel like you would have told him.
Yeah, I definitely would have told him. That,
just
hey,
because, like, he
this
would
is a
be
physical
like,
safety issue, come get me.
Yeah. Well, and you know, he would have been like, why are you being weird about this?
Yeah.
So yeah, you would have told him.
But, you know, we all know how well he listens.
Well, and just in general, like, it seems like, generally speaking, men are less inclined to believe women's concerns until a thing happens to them personally.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened here. That now he agrees, yeah, this guy's creepy. And it's like, yeah, like, I've been telling you that this guy's creepy.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, if it comes to it, my husband, who looks like he lives under a log, has a very nasty reputation in Vegas, and I'm sure he'd be happy to rekindle it here. Have I told that story?
No.
You know that story.
I love that story.
So, my husband has a really bad reputation in Vegas. And it's the kind of reputation where the people who know him know how bullshit it is.
Yeah. No, I love this story because it's ridiculous.
So we had this roommate when we lived in Vegas, and basically how this roommate came about was that we were just at this kind of locals group, chilling out, and this guy approached us and said, hey, I know you guys have been struggling with your rent. I have a friend who's trying to get out of a bad situation in California. Would you like a roommate? And we're like, if they can pay the bills and actually make things easier, yes, we would love a roommate. Mm-hmm. So, this friend, I was apparently getting away from a boyfriend. That was the line we were fed. Mm-hmm. And so she came to come stay with us, and we knew that she wasn't going to have a job right away. Yeah. Because we picked her up, not even from the Greyhound station, from the Mexican bus station. I can't, yeah, that's how desperate it was that she was on the, cheap-ass Mexican bus and not even the, $15 Greyhound. Yeah. So we knew that things were going to be a little bit patchy at first, and we were willing to be patient, just, as long as she helps out around the house and this and that and the other. And at the time, I was still struggling to find a job, because I have my own issues. Mine are more physical than mental, but I still have my own issues finding a job. Yeah. So we were kind of struggling, and this person was... Ow. My face is so itchy. So this person came to stay with us, and it was kind of awkward, and she just wasn't very willing to get a job. Uh-huh. And I remember one time getting really pissed off to find that she had been sitting on my couch, and this was that really ugly avocado green couch that I loved. And
I like that couch.
While sitting on this couch, she had pierced her own lip and bled on my couch, and then dyed her hair on my couch and stained my couch.
What?
Yeah, and it was like, you're trying to find a job. How is this helping you find a job? And I say this as someone whose hair is a stupid color, but I have job security. Yeah. When you're trying to actively find a job, you kind of want to conform a little bit.
Well, and how old was she anyway?
She was early 20s.
Yeah, so it's like even less of a veneer of adult responsibility.
Yeah. And then, of course, my question was, where did you get the money for the hair dye? Yeah. And at some point, she and Ryan had kind of started sleeping together, which I didn't really care about either way. Yeah. I mean, because we've always been pretty open, and the general rule is that as long as, all parties are made aware, then fine. Yeah. So, I was like, well, okay, but this is going to end badly, but sure, if that's what you want to do. Whatever, I don't care.
When has that ever stopped anything?
Yeah. So, I've given up trying to be the voice of reason, just whatever. Yeah. Pretty much. And this is going on through, it comes up to about Halloween. By this point...
I was going to say it was, at least for the relationship, that was about 6 months, right?
Yeah, they were a thing for about 6 months. They stopped being a thing pretty much right before Halloween when he found out that the boyfriend she was trying to get away from in California, she had been seeing on the side. So Ryan was
eye-rolling.
Yeah, so Ryan was really annoyed about that because he's like,
and hurt.
Yeah, well,
and also the emo song lyrics.
Yeah, and so, but it was like, okay, so you said that this guy was abusive, and then you paid for him to come to Vegas and live with your parents. Why aren't you living with your parents?
What?
Yeah,
I don't think I heard about that shit.
Yeah, it was like really fucking weird. So. Ugh. That was when we pretty much gave her walk-in papers, was right around Halloween. Yeah. And so she still hadn't moved out at that point. Because for some reason she couldn't go stay with her own mom. And we're like, you annoying child, get out of our house. Yeah. And so it's Halloween. We're having our Shaun of the Dead watch, which was at that point when he actually had holidays off, a tradition. That we would watch Shaun of the Dead on Halloween. And we had some friends over, and we were doing that and just kind of chilling out, and we get this call from her. Because for some reason, she was too good to hang out at our party. She had to go to a different party with other people. So we get this call saying that her boyfriend had hit her at the party. Can we please come pick her up? And we're like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. So Ryan and I both get into the car. We tell our friends, we'll be back. Watch the movie. We're going to go take care of this. I went with them pretty much to make sure that there was a witness, and I think one other person got into the car with us as well. I can't remember. But there were at least 2 of us in the car to make sure that what was happening was actually happening. Yeah. And this party was out, for those of you who have never lived in Las Vegas, it's a huge, sprawling city. And there are new neighborhoods being built up all the time. And this party was in one of those new neighborhoods that are basically out in the desert that haven't been planted up yet and built up yet. So it's just houses on dirt. And it's really ugly out there. So we're out there in the desert looking for this neighborhood. And we finally find it. And Ryan grabs this aluminum pipe thing. I don't know what it was. But it was just a kind of a rolled up piece of aluminum that he took in there with him just because, someone was getting hit. So he was not going to go in there empty-handed. Yeah. And he goes up there and, he asks where she is. And, oh, that bitch, she took off a while ago. And we're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. So that was the end of that. And he left. And we all got in the car. And we go find her. And we finally find her walking down the road in bra and panties with cat ears, because that was her idea of a Halloween costume. Oh, for fuck's sake. And we're like, oh my god, you stupid woman, get into the car before someone attacks you. Yeah. You just, you don't. You have to have some amount of intelligence when leaving the house, especially on Halloween. Yeah. So, at that point, we pretty much, dropped her off at her mother's house. She did not come to our house. And we said, this is it. You can come get your stuff tomorrow. Do not come back after that, pretty much. Yeah. And that was the end of that. He got, he switched his schedule at work, just for reasons. I think he got the promotion at that point. And I started working at the call center, so I no longer had time, and then we moved in with Joe, and we moved to a different part of town, so we kind of fell out with the locals group that we were going to, just because we didn't have time to participate in the meetups and stuff anymore, which happens. Like, there was no bad blood, we just got too busy. Yeah. And then I'm at home one day after work, and I get a message from somebody saying that he heard from the grapevine that Ryan had stabbed somebody. What? And I'm like, what?
I mean, Ryan's ex-army, but he's not that sort of ex-army.
Yeah, he was intel. We lived in California. But yeah, so I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I heard that at a Halloween party there was some problems with that girl, who I'm not naming out of tact, I guess. I don't know. But there were some problems with her. So Ryan went in with a lead pipe and shanked somebody and then ran before the cops got there. And I'm like,
somebody with a pipe.
Well, apparently he also had a shank. Ah. And yeah, and apparently the aluminum thing turned into a lead pipe. And so I'm just like, what? Who's telling you this? And then he's like, yeah, and then she was saying that he had this arrangement with her. Yeah, where he had this arrangement with her where she got free rent in exchange for sex. And I'm like, yeah, because that's how it works. The penis goes in and the money comes out, right? Uh-huh. And yeah, and the guy that I was talking to after we were talking about this, and I told him our side of the story, he goes, that makes a lot more sense.
Well, I remember the shit you drew to commemorate.
Yeah, I drew something kind of nasty because, yeah, what the fuck? Penis goes in, money comes out, apparently. Mm-hmm. And then, at the call center, I was talking with someone who said that they had met this new person and they were really into him, and this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, oh, well, cool, I might want to meet them. What's their name? And then they said their name. But that's not really their name. It's actually this, but they go by that. And I'm like, channeling Fran in Black Books, just run away. Run away. Go. Leave. Away. Goodbye. And, oh, well, no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And sometime later, like a couple of months down the road, person comes back and says, you know what? I think you might have been right because she's trying to tell me that she's pregnant and it's mine. This person was a woman.
Pregnancy in this somewhere?
Yeah, apparently she had a lesbian pregnancy. Because the person that I was working with that started dating her was also a woman.
Huh.
So she was trying to say that she was pregnant and that it was hers. And it's like...
Immaculate conception.
It doesn't work that way, honey. So, yeah. That was one of my crazy roommate stories. Then we immediately after, because, she left us completely fucked up, we had to get a new roommate, so I was working at the call center, and there was this guy that I was working with, and he was really cool, really chill, and I knew he had a job because I worked with him. So I was like, yeah, sure, well, we just lost our roommate because she was fucking insane, so come move in with us, sure, just rent's due on this day, and you pay a third of the bill, or a third of the other bills, basically. And he's like, yeah, cool. And while he was there, he was great. He was very quiet, he actually was rarely even home, he paid his bills on time.
Oh, no, I've horribly fucked up.
Oh, what have you done?
My knot got worse.
Oh, no. And then, all of a sudden, he brought home an Italian Greyhound, and then disappeared. And left the dog. And we're like, what? What do we do with your dog? I've got hair in my nose or something, I'm very itchy.
You shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't. And, we're just, once again, left high and dry with the dog that,
I don't remember the dog.
Well, we kept trying to surrender it, but Nevada is a weird state when it comes to surrenders. It's really hard to willfully surrender a dog, even if it's not yours. So, what Ryan finally did, because we liked the dog, he was super sweet, but neither of us were ever home to take care of it, and he was a super high-maintenance dog. And so, what Ryan basically wound up having to do was put on his scary face, he called a Greyhound rescue, and he said, listen, somebody better come pick up this dog, or else there's a hole in the desert with its name on it. And they came to pick up the dog, and it's like, obviously we would not have hurt the dog, but that's what it takes to surrender an animal in Nevada sometimes, is to threaten that it's going to wind up out in the desert. And then, yeah, so he just fucking disappears, and we didn't hear from him for, ever. And he's actually where I got my smaller monitor. That was his. That blue dressing gown that I really like, that was his. Just, a bunch of the really cool stuff that we have was just his, because he left it. And we were like, what the hell is going on? My nose is super itchy, it's my allergies or something.
I don't remember this roommate at all.
Yeah, because as far as drama roommates go, he was the least dramatic. And then all of a sudden, I just got an email from him out of the blue one day, saying, I'm so sorry about what happened. My mom had a heart attack, and she died before I got back to California.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. I forgive you.
That's a good reason to be kind of fucked up.
Yeah. He had planned on going to spend time with his mom, and then he was going to come back and get everything. But plans don't always work, and it's like, I believe you, and because otherwise that's a really shitty thing to lie about, and he was the kind of person where I don't think that's the sort of thing he would have lied about.
Yeah.
And then he did ask about the dog, and I told him that we had to give it up, and he's like, I probably would have done the same. But yeah.
Well, I hope the dog found a good home.
Probably did. He was a cute little thing. He just, we couldn't handle a dog.
Yeah, I mean, you had the boys.
We had the boys, which beat him the fuck up.
Of course they did.
And he wasn't house trained, so having a dog that wasn't house trained in a house where we weren't home to watch him.
Yeah, that's not...
No. It was not nice. So yeah, I've had a lot of really shitty roommates.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness you don't have roommates anymore.
No. No, never again. Never, ever, ever again.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Not on some wood-like substance.
But, okay, my timestamp actually does say 1:30 now, so that's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But there we go. I think that's where we're going to end it for today.
Okay.
Do you have any parting words?
Don't get tetanus.
Don't get tetanus, and don't eat soap.
Yes, don't eat soap.
Don't eat soap, okay. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.